Hi again, it's me, Cinnamon. I'm a 23-year-old working a corporate job who loves all things personal finance, especially budgeting. And today I am budgeting my second paycheck of December, which also happens to be my last paycheck of the year. And just to cut to the chase, this is also my highest net income paycheck of the year, which you'll see once I take out my paycheck deductions from my gross pay, which is right here in my ready to assign of $7,578.08. So let's just collapse all of these and go to my paycheck deductions. So my health insurance was as usual. Federal income tax, I think, was as usual. FICA was lower than usual because I only had to pay Medicare tax, which is this $107.75, and I did not pay any Social Security tax with this paycheck since I had hit the cap, and state income taxes as usual. And again, I didn't pay any state disability insurance because I also had already hit the cap. So just click underfunded here and then reset available amounts. And one thing that pops out to me here is that my federal income tax is way below what I had estimated, and I have no clue why this is. I think last year I did my estimate with ADP. We'll see what ends up coming out as right when I get my W-2 in about a month from now, and I'm able to just do my taxes then and there and then verify if I'm going to owe taxes or if I'm getting a refund. I really hope I get a refund, right? I don't know. We'll have to see. I still have to take out my investments that go through my paycheck, which is my HSA contribution and my 401k contribution. And as you can see, my 401k contribution was lower than usual because I only had to invest $801.98 to hit the max. And reset available amounts. I am short on my HSA contribution, and that is because to max out my HSA for the next year or for 2023, my work uses my first paycheck of 2024. And next, yeah, I think right here we have my net pay, which was $4,809.14. So with my last paycheck, I had already contributed everything I wanted to contribute to my investing goals. And so I have hit my investing goal for the year, which was to invest $60,000 across my brokerage and my 401k, Roth IRA, HSA, all of these categories you're seeing here. I don't know, I might rename this category group because I don't really want to do any more things in savings. Like my emergency fund is where I want it to be, and anything else that I'm saving for is a sinking fund because that's saving to spend it, not just like saving to build up a cushion that I hope to replenish. So I might rename this, but I'll leave it for now. Speaking of my sinking funds, I get to spend my whole paycheck on my sinking funds, which is like a dream come true. This is actually my second time filming this video, and that's really good because this time that I'm filming, I'm remembering that I actually have holding in my sinking fund that I also need to assign. So I'm going to put that into my ready to assign because I want to get rid of it. And I'm also going to take out the $45 that I have for Happy Hobbyist. And that is because I plan on no longer doing vocal lessons. So my first vocal lesson trial was $45 for an hour, which I thought was a really good rate. And I wanted to continue doing the lessons. Let me just pull up the text messages so I make sure I'm getting all the numbers right. I want to continue doing the lessons, so I was just thinking like it'll be around the same $45 range. It turns out the program I want to do has like a monthly payment plan, so you have to pay like at the beginning of the month for 4, 3, or 5 classes that month, and you pay the same flat rate whether there are 4 available classes, 3 available classes, or 5 available classes. So that's a little annoying to me because some months you're paying more for less, but whatever, it's a flat fee. And initially, she told me that it was 270 for 45-minute weekly lessons. So, okay, like that's higher than the 45 per hour lesson, but whatever. I'm like, I'll think about it. And then she tells me, oh, that's a typo. It's 370 for 45-minute weekly lessons. And then I'm just like curious, like 370 for the 45-minute ones. Like it's hard for me to like just convert the math like really quickly. So I'm like, okay, what about the hour lessons? Like let me compare that to the trial cost. And it's $475 per month for weekly hour-long lessons. So that's 4 lessons usually for $475, which is over $100 per lesson. It's $118 per lesson over that. And so that felt like way, way too much for me. It's okay. People can charge whatever they want to charge, but for me, like that's not a priority. So that feels like, oh, I'd be dumping almost $500 a month into this. Is there anything else I'd rather do with that? And there are millions of other things I'd rather do with that. So I decided, I'll probably sit this out, even though I really got along with the instructor and we did have good energy and it's kind of awkward, but I'm just never going to see her again. So why do I feel like it's awkward? I don't know. Anyway, that is a long story of why I'm taking money out of this sinking fund. I am going to add some money into my good daughter sinking fund. My dad asked for some money for the holidays, and anytime I give money to my dad, I have to give money to my mom, so I'm giving them $120 each. And that is that. Okay, now for the fun part. I get to just put the rest into my surgery fund, which is like my daunting baby. This was a big um, 2024 goal for me. So the fact that I'm getting so much of it through in 2025 is just like, whoa, can I even think straight? 2023, I'm getting so much of it through in 2023 is just whoa to me. If I put $4,726.18 here, boom, I only have $1,053.74 left to fund this. And how am I going to do that? I actually like really think this is my top priority, even over the driving lessons. Like I don't even think I want to drive anymore. I don't even think I want to like get a license. But I will leave $200 here for driving lessons. Not that I'll take lessons because the lessons are $200 per 2 hour session, I think. And again, people can charge whatever they want to charge, but that feels like a lot to me, especially because when I've talked to my friends, they've all been like, yeah, I had to drive like at least 40 hours to like get comfortable behind the wheel. So that's going to add up a lot. I really just need to have a way to drive and practice driving outside of these lessons because I don't need like the instruction element of it. I just need the time behind the wheel. And that's only going to happen if I'm like spending time with a friend that'll let me use their car. So until I have a setup like that, I can't really keep focused on this goal. Um, and so I'll just put the or leave the 200 for maybe the behind the wheel test. But again, I just like don't know how this is going to fit into my year. The reason why I feel like so compelled to get it now is that, or to get my license now specifically, is that I already took my learner's permit and that expires in like 6 months now. And I had to spend money on the Uber to get there to the DMV. And obviously, I spent a lot of time at the DMV. And I had spent $40 on the registration at the DMV, which was so weird because I went to the DMV to get an ID and they wouldn't just give me a non-driver ID. So I'm still really confused by the experience I had there. And it felt like a massive waste of time if I just like end up not getting a license. But I think I'll just need to go back to the DMV and like tell them, hey, you need to give me a non-driver ID. Like, what is going on here? So maybe I'll take everything out of this because I don't know. I don't really see myself having a car like Yeah, I just don't know how this is gonna fit into everything. I'm really comfortable like just Ubering. The math always comes out ahead on Uber. Um, so yeah, still iffy on this, but I'll leave the 200 for now, just until I'm certain that I'm not going to be driving. Okay, so now I need to come up with $53 for my surgery fund. I feel like I had a way of doing this before, but I do not remember how I did it before. How did I do this before? Ah, yes, I remember now. So I actually realized I had kind of overfunded this category because I need 150 for my shopping spree, and I can't pull the calculator out like over the screen or something for some reason. Then I need $80 for room decor, and I need 300 for a console, and I think I put 90 for furniture removal. So that brings me to 620, but I have 680 in this category, so it's overfunded by 60, and I'm gonna move that to holding. And I'm gonna take the remaining, how much do I need? 53.75 or 74, and I'm gonna use that to fund surgery. And now the goal is complete. Like, I don't, it's complete. That is just insane to me. That was the really, really fun part of setting like 2024 goals. It just let me realize how much of those goals I could actually get done in 2023. So another 2024 goal I had was to hit Coastfire, and I might have also already hit that goal. So just to recap, and let me make sure I go to the right tab. Cool. I was using this Coastfire calculator in like my net worth video. So I'll put back my numbers. See, 5, I'm currently 23, I want to retire 65. Annual spending in retirement is about $60,000, which is how much I spend right now on my core spending and my sinking funds. That's how much I give myself. And current invested assets, let's go to, which is like kind of tricky for me to figure out because part of my investing strategy is putting stuff in my high yield savings account where I am getting 5% or right now 5.5%. Although maybe I should have like put that more in the market. I don't know. I have a 6-month emergency fund right now as opposed to a 3-month one. So I could put like an extra $10,000 in the market, which might be like $10,000. How much of a big difference does that make? Well, if you go to my net worth, my current like actual invested assets in ETFs is 1,600, oops, $164,213.33, with a total net worth of 21, I can't say numbers, $211,000, which is a little short since it hasn't populated with my new paycheck yet. So yeah, let's go here and just put this current invested assets that they have there. And we can ignore monthly contribution. So, just looking at this, it would look like, okay, what do you mean? Looks like you'll hit fire at or retirement at retirement age. You're not going to coast fire. But what I noticed when I was playing around with this calculator a little bit more is that they are using a 7% growth rate, but the average growth rate of the S&P 500, which is what my ETFs are in, is 10%. And this 7% growth rate basically double factors in 3% inflation because they account for 3% inflation here, and they already take off 3% off the 10% growth rate. So it's like double conservative. And I get some people want to use really conservative numbers. I know people use even more conservative numbers on growth rate, but just look at the insane difference changing the growth rate made. So right now, once I bump it to the average 10% growth rate, I'm already at Coastfire. My Coastfire number goes down significantly. So at 7%, it was 288,000, and at 10%, it is basically 88,000. So $200,000 less. Like that is a massive difference. So I don't know how comfortable like some people are with changing this number. I'm just going to use the historical average because even having an annual spending in retirement was already like me, I don't know, being conservative as well. I'd ideally want to have a $120,000 annual spending in retirement. And with that, my co-spire number would have to be $174,000, which is pretty much just $10,000 difference from my current invested assets. And that's why the extra $10,000 that I have making up my like investment rollover, which I'm like holding off putting back into the market because I want to use that as like a temporary emergency fund until I feel like there's more security, job security in my industry. I don't know. Now I'm like, this could put me over the edge. But I could also wait a few months into 2024 and have that same $10,000 invested as I get in new income and my age won't change or whatever. So, or like it'll change, but it won't meaningfully change, you know? So that's just something to think about. So in my book, just the way I'm looking at it, I already hit Coastfire. Like this whole change in the investment growth rate has changed my math a lot. And yeah, hopefully this is true. It's not really a big deal for me if I haven't hit Coastfire yet or if I have, because my next goal is to hit fire at 30, um, which would mean, yes, getting a $3 million net worth by 30. I have to make a whole video on that, why I want to do that, because I still do not plan to retire early, and how I plan to do that, which I still am not 100% sure of, and is what I spend most of my waking days trying to figure out. So, yeah, crazy. My 2024 goals video is already kind of out of date because I've changed my mind. I'm figuring out new things, and I will just try to keep you guys as updated as possible as I figure things out because that's just like what this is all about for me. I feel very comfortable budgeting now. I feel very comfortable spending within a budget. I have to start doing like spending recap videos because I have so much to say about my spending. I think that's why I don't do them because I will really ramble on. But I think that's where most of my like personality will come out because you get to learn more about like my day to day because the budget for me is just like very automated right now. Like I can figure out a budget really quickly right now. Like I'm just so used to ynab and my plan and I build my annual plan offline and I just am like, okay, decided on the plan. Sticking with those numbers, at least when it comes to like what I'm gonna be doing with for pay myself first, and less so for like life trajectory stuff. Changed so much of that. I need to start doing these recap videos for sure. Uh yeah, that's just crazy. I just like killed like so many of my goals in one video. I'm just kind of stunned. Like it's so weird how things don't feel real until they're like all nabbed out. Um, any day that I want to have surgery, I have the money for it. I mean, technically, I'm gonna have to take out debt, but I'm totally fine with that. But I have $18,000 for my surgery. What? Just to like talk about this a little bit more. I know I was supposed to end this video, but to talk about this a little bit more. wanting to have the surgery is how I got into like saving money and being like frugal. I used to kind of spend any dollar I got, I spent it. Like I was just a kid. I didn't have credit card or anything, so I wasn't in debt or anything, but like I basically spent everything I have, you know? And that was fine. Like I wasn't thinking about retirement or anything like that. I was very carefree. I didn't have any long-term goals that required money. And if I did, like I could sort of just save for them when I needed them, but it was like saving immediately to spend, you know? And they weren't really long time horizons. But then I decided I did want to have surgery. I was looking at prices, it was crazy high, and I was just like, I think I can get to these numbers. I think I can save. Um, Even though I'm just putting 18,000 to this goal, I used to have 20,000 in my like or $25,000 saved for surgery. But as I became more financially aware, I realized like that can't be for surgery. Like I need to put that into my Roth IRA. I need to put that into an emergency fund. So that's why like I had to basically build this up. But yeah, when I first like had that goal in mind, I stopped eating out completely. I was cooking, I was spending $60 a week on groceries, and never ate out. And yeah, I got like tuition reimbursements for school, and I basically banked all of them. I like would fight to like not have to get this health insurance thing I had to get for school that was like $3,000. So I was able to save an extra $3,000. I get an extra $3,000 like in tuition reimbursement because of that. What else did I do? Um, During COVID, a lot of crazy things were happening. I was able to find really good deals on housing during that time and like negotiated people down because I was really trying to save money. I got like my housing refund from school, but I just try to actually live for free over COVID. So I've got to like bank most of that. So it's just finding all these ways to save money. I worked throughout college. Like I loved my job, but I tried to like work the max hours I could. Actually, I had like two different jobs on campus, but I wasn't working like 40 hours a week at those jobs at all. So one job I was working 12 hours a week, and the other I would work like 6 or 9 hours a week, which honestly is weird. It does add up to a lot, but it never felt like a lot. I had so much free time. What else was I doing to save for this? I think it was just like, again, just really learning about personal finance and learning about like saving and feeling that motivation. Food spending was where I was like doing the worst, but I also just cut spending in a lot of other areas. I used to buy clothes all the time. I stopped doing that. I used to just buy random things. They weren't super random. Like I do feel like I did buy things with intention, but I just like stopped buying things. Honestly, it was just like, no, I'm okay. Um, and I carry that attitude with me now. So it's just great to like come back full circle and be able to like replenish this again after I drained it to be financially responsible. Yeah, I'm just like really excited. 2024, getting my surgery and maybe making a whole video like documenting all the costs associated and all the things and care credit and understanding that system will be exciting, but I can't believe it. I have all my surgery money. Kind of. Uh, yeah, thanks for watching and have a happy holidays. Bye.